All right, y'all. Welcome to another episode of Sanusi Not Life. My name is Adewale Booker Jr. Please review us, rate us, give us a 5-star. Don't be a hater. Today, I'm going to continue talking about superhero groups, super individual superheroes, but today I'm going to focus on Gargoyles. 1994 to 1997, a great animation classic. It was one of the sickest cartoons I've ever seen. Top 5 as far as I'm concerned, from characters to the animation, to the sound. It was just an incredible animation series. It went from 1994 to about 1997, 3 seasons of awesomeness. It was created by Greg Weisman and Frank Poor. It was just an amazing cartoon, man. I mean, it really helped me to build the whole Cardiac Assassin universe. It was part of one of those animation series that helped me to have ideas for what I want to do. So before we get into the podcast today, we want to thank our sponsors. This Sound Vision podcast is brought to you by Anadale Foot and Ankle. Don't live with foot pain. Let Anadale Foot and Ankle make your feet happy again. That's AnadaleCenter.com for details, y'all. That's AnadaleCenter.com for details, y'all. Like I stated before, in every pair of one of my batas, man, I always got these custom orthotics, man. In every pair of my batas, I've been pain-free in my feet for a long, long time. Go see Dr. Nero Sode at AnadaleCenter.com. Make you an appointment. Let him check out your feet. Everything is not always about surgeries. He's the foremost foot specialist in the galaxy. Forget the world, the galaxy. This guy's number one. He's rated number one in his area, and he's going to be rated number one in the galaxy. So check him out. AnadaleCenter.com for details, y'all. AnadaleCenter.com for details. All right.
You're alive! We're together
again. All right, y'all, let's get into this podcast. Like I stated before, man, Gargoyles today. I'm so excited about this, man. We're going to talk about the origins, the history, the characters, comics, animation. And if there is movies in the future, we'll take that too, man. But Gargoyles, man, one of the greatest cartoons I've ever seen in my life. I mean, it was just a sick cartoon. I remember seeing this, man, and it went from the origins. So let's start off with the origins. All right. So basically, the origins of this character basically come from Scotland, right? Which is where it started, the whole folk tale type of situation. And, most people see gargoyles as things you hear about in rain spouts or something like that. But when this cartoon came out, I was like, whoa, this is so sick. You had Goliath, you had Hudson, you had Brooklyn, you had Broadway, you had Lexington, you had Bronx, you had Demona, who was a villain, David Xanatos, Elisa Maza, who was the detective. I mean, the origins of this character is 1994 to 1997. It was created by Greg Weisman and Frank Poor, who have done works for DC and Marvel as well, respectively. And I was just like, whoa, this is the sickest cartoon I've ever seen, man. I mean, I was just like, I've never seen Gargoyles. Like, the concept itself is what made it great. That's what gives it origins. I mean, I think some of the greatest cartoons we've ever seen, whether it's X-Men, Avengers, Thundercats, Ronin Warriors, they all have this awesome origins where they just ideas that come out of nowhere that we've never seen before, and they just hit us. I mean, back then, man, this thing had 3 seasons of awesomeness. Season 1 was 13 episodes, Season 2 was 52 episodes. Season 3 was 13. To go 33 seasons in any animation series, to me, is amazing. But to go 3 seasons and then season 2 has 52 episodes, that's damn near 5 seasons right there. So technically, you could say Gargoyles went about 5, 6, 7 seasons. I mean, the origins of this story, of course, is a Disney-based cartoon now. It was created by Disney originally. So with the backing, Greg Weisman and Frank Poor were able to do their thing. Of course, Disney was part of it, which has created many different animation series. But Gargoyles was the first one Disney created. I was just like, whoa, this is super sick. I'm like, whoa, an action cartoon from Disney? Dang. I was so blown away by the whole idea of these characters, and then each character was different from one another. You know what I'm saying? So that's something I'm gonna get on down. But the origins of it is really, like I said, they were based in Scotland, folktale. So they go from Scotland, right? They get taken. This Magus puts a spell on them, and then freezing them for 1,000 years. And the only way they can get free from that spell, from that curse, is for this castle to be built in the highest point of the city. It must be the highest thing. And so that's exactly what happens. You know what I'm saying? That's the origin. So now, which leads us to the history of Gargoyles. Man, the history of Gargoyles is twisted. It's not so much twisted, but it's more like the history. You've got 1994 to 1995, 1994 to 1995, 97. 3 amazing seasons. Season 1, 13 episodes. Season 2, 52 episodes. Season 3, 13 episodes, right? You know, so basically the Gargoyles, they go from Scotland and end up in Manhattan. And then the only way to, and it happens because the Magus curses them because he believes that they kidnapped the princess. And it wasn't even her. It was Demona and some other guy. Let me see if I can find this character right here. Let me see. I know I can find him. Demona and... Come on, work with me. Are you serious right now? All right. So Demona and this guy who was part of the army guard for the castle, for the king, betrayed the Gargoyles. So basically, they found a way to separate Goliath and the other Gargoyles. That was Hudson, Brooklyn, Bronx, Hudson, and Bronx. Excuse me. And they separated them from Goliath. And Goliath, all of a sudden, by the time he comes back, they've all been turned to stone. And then he's like, okay, well, I'm not gonna be by myself. So he tells the Magus to cast one more time, and the Magus turns him into stone himself because the Magus realized it wasn't his fault. The Gargoyles' fault that what happened to the princess. It was actually Demona and the other evil henchman that promoted it. So they go from Scotland, which even while they were in Scotland during the 1899, it was a crazy time period. They were hated so much. So while the whole time they were trying to not be hated, they were also protecting the humans. So it's kind of like they had an X-Men approach to this thing, man, where the X-Men were protecting humans, but they were hated. Well, same thing with the Gargoyles. They were protecting the city of the Scotland and its areas, and they were still hated. I mean, everybody was trying to get have them as alliances, but the only reason why they want them as alliances is so they could have them as part of their army. Not so much that they could show them the respect they deserved as beings, as sentient beings that existed on their own. They had their own culture and their own thing. I mean, Gargoyles is one of the most amazing creatures. So basically, the cartoon comes out. The first episode dawns in October. Excuse me. The first episode was on October 24th, 1994. Like I said before, it was created by Greg Weisman and Frank Poor. Now, Greg Weisman and Frank Poor are creators who have worked on various things. Bonkers. I'm trying to think. Currently, I know that Greg Weisman is working with DC on Young Justice. And I remember looking at this cartoon like, whoa, this is the sickest thing I've ever seen. I mean, Gargoyles basically was like one of those cartoons that it came out of left wing, and people were like, it just became a cult classic. I don't think you don't realize how great of a cartoon it is till now we are and what we are today. I mean, I can tell you a bunch of people when I was talking about Gargoyles, they're like, oh yeah, I remember that. I mean, that's how great this cartoon was. So now
Okay, just take it easy.
What were you doing in my castle?
You can talk? What are you?
My kind have no names, but you humans call me Goliath.
Your kind? You mean there's more than one of you?
Barely.
Wait, don't go. Look, we need to either get back down to the street or up to the castle. Since you can fly...
I can't fly. I can only glide on currents of wind. There are none strong enough here to lift us back up.
So we're stuck here? Huh?
Hold on. Trust me.
I don't believe this. I forgot about him.
He won't hurt you. Now, once again, what are you doing here? And please, don't fall off the building this time.
This cartoon was. So now the characters, the history is like, even now as we're speaking, there's a possibility that they're talking about rebooting it. But I don't know if they're rebooting it as a cartoon or as maybe some kind of 3D real life action thing. I don't really want no 3D real life action thing. If you're gonna do it as a cartoon. But we've seen the history of cartoons, man. Thundercats got remade and that wasn't so awesome. I did not care for that too much. You know what I mean? But Gargoyles, so as the show goes, you've got so the antagonist, right? So the whole time, the history, the Gargoyles are fighting humans. They're fighting humans in the 1800s in Scotland, and then when you get to Manhattan in the early 90s, they're fighting humans again. And now instead of having allies, they get used by David Xanatos, which I'm going to get into later. This dude frees them, but they only frees them so he could use them against his other competitors. So he's more using them because of money, not because he's using them to enrich himself, which is already rich, versus actually wanting to help them. And when they finally figured out that the reason why they got betrayed was by Demona, one of their own, stuff really hit the fan right there. I mean, it was a hot mess. I mean, Goliath the whole time thought Demona was dead. Not realizing that she was actually the one who plotted all the plots against them. She got so many gargoyles destroyed. So this one of the characters in the Gargoyles universe, one of the characters, let me see if I can find this thing. If I can find it. He's the ancestor of Wolfman. I guess this ain't gonna work for me. But this dude Demona betrays the entire clan because of her hatred of humans. Demona has issues, man, and that woman's issues is mainly disdain for human beings. Whereas she herself cannot even see the fact that she's the one who's messed up. And some humans are messed up, but she's also messed up too. So she got a set of the clan she got to set a group of Gargoyles to betray Goliath, not knowing that they were betraying Goliath without knowing that she was plotting against them and against the humans. So when that happens, the Magus turns all the Gargoyles into stone. So now Brooklyn, Hudson, Goliath, Bronx, Broadway are all turned into stone, and they are stuck in stone for 1,000 years. Imagine just sleeping for 1,000 years, and they might have never woken up if Xanatos didn't build the Erie Castle. Yes, it's called Erie Castle on top so that it could go all the way past the skyscraper and be the tallest building in Manhattan. Now, Gargoyles, as I'm talking over here, I should be showing y'all so y'all can know what's up. Look at that's Gargoyles right there. You know what I mean? Let's get our showcase on. Let me pull this poster out of here so y'all can really see it. I mean, this is one of those cartoons. I'm currently watching it right now on Disney Plus. Yeah, that's right. Y'all heard what I said. Gargoyles right there. Let's bring them out. Elisa Maza. Goliath, Angela, Goliath's daughter, Brooklyn, Hudson, Broadway, Lexington, you know what I'm saying? And then, of course, Bronx at the bottom right here. Yo, the Gargoyles, this cartoon was so off the chain, man. There's nobody who's a true fan of animation that doesn't know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm saying? Gargoyles is one of those top 5 cartoons that you will, as history of cartoons go, if they ever do a top 5, there's no way it doesn't make top 5. At worst, it's number 6 because it's such a great concept. The animation, the action, the sequence, the cinematic approach to it, even the sound. Like, I used to love the ending of episodes where the songs would come and it'd be like, oh, this is an awesome sound at the end of the episode. It helped me to create part of the Cards of Assassins universe where I'm like, okay, this kind of sound I want. Like, on all my episodes at the end, I always wanted to have this awesome, enigmatic, human touch sound, man. That Gargoyles was just, oh my God, incredible. Okay, so now, next up, I've talked about the origins, the history. The history. Now we're going to move on to the characters. And man, when I say there's characters, there's a whole bunch of characters. Let's recap. Look here, man. You got Bronx, Goliath, Elisa Maza, Angela, Brooklyn, Hudson, Broadway, Lexington. But then you've also got David Xanatos. I mean, man, the list is endless. And these are the main characters right here. So and then these characters were voiced by these amazing actors. So Keith Davis voiced Goliath, Ed Ansner voiced Hudson. Jeff Bennett voiced Brooklyn. Tom Addox Hernandez voiced Lexington. Sally Richardson voiced Eliza Maza. Jonathan Franks was David Xanatos. Frank Weller was Bronx. I mean, yo, when I say this was off the chain, it was off the chain. Let me see if I can see. Let's see here. Who else who else were doing what here? Let's see. And then, of course, Tim Curry voiced Dr. Anton Savarius. Angela was voiced by Bridget Batko. Coldstone was voiced by Michael Dawn, who was part of Star Trek, if you know that well. Wilson. Demona was voiced by Marina Sirtis. I mean, that was, oh my God, this cartoon was off the chain. Let me see here. Who else voiced whoever? And then you had numerous guest stars. You had LeVar Burton. You had Avery Brooks. You had Kate Mulgrew. You had Clancy Brown. I mean, so many known actors, man. And actors that were amazing individuals who voiced these characters. I mean, this cartoon was just, oh my God, off the chain. So now, let's talk about each character. Starting off with, of course, the king of the show, as far as I'm concerned. Goliath. Goliath was voiced by Keith David, and Goliath basically was the leader of the pack. He was this is Goliath, for all of you wondering, which is unbelievable. This is Goliath right here. He's the leader of the pack. At first he wasn't the leader, but as Broadway as Hudson got older, he decided, you know what, we need somebody else to lead the clan. And so Goliath takes over. He becomes the leader of the clan. And Goliath is, as big as he is, he's very patient. He kind of reminds me of my big brother Judah, who's a huge human being, but he's a patient human being, intelligent, caring. Goliath always willing to sacrifice himself. So Goliath is the pragmatist of Disney animated television series Gargoyles. He's the leader of the Manhattan clan and survivor of the Wyvern clan. He's also like the way Goliath was he was so pain-stricken that he told the Magus to turn him to stone too. Like, he did not want to live by himself in existence. So what did he do? He turned himself to stone. And then so when they woke up again in the 1990s from the 1800s, after 1,000 years of sleeping, man, he's like, dude. They wake up and now all of a sudden he gets tricked again by Xanatos, but then he also gets betrayed by Demona, who's supposed to be his love of his life. And she turned out not to be the love of his life. And Demona spends the whole time trying to destroy him and the clan and Eliza Maza. So instead of taking blame for what she actually did, she spent the whole time hating him. So he's fighting her. So Goliath is fighting Demona. He's fighting all these different enemies. He's fighting David Xanatos. And as the leader of the clan, that weight weighs on him sometimes, man. So eventually decides to make Brooklyn second in command, which you get to see during the Goliath Chronicles, season 2. From about episode 24 all the way to episode 52 in season 2. Yeah, yo, I can give real detail on Gargoyles. Yeah, I'm freestyling this thing, man. Goliath is the leader of the team. As far as I'm concerned, he's like, Goliath is strong. Of course, flight, all these different, but him, as the show goes, him and Eliza Maza, the detective, start to develop a romantic, I guess you want to call it a romantic relationship, but they start to have feelings for each other. And you can start to see it in season 3, the Goliath Chronicles, where he tells stories about all the different things that happen to the Gargoyles. But Goliath, man, he's probably one of the coolest characters in animation history. It makes the when when you go to New York or something, or wherever you see Gargoyles, you're like, man, okay, that reminds me of Goliath or something like that. You know what I mean? But Goliath is a sick character. Next.
Trespassing.
Next up, you've got Eliza Maza, who's a detective. You know what I'm saying? Eliza Maza right there. You know what I'm saying? Eliza Maza is a detective in New York City. She's the first human that the Gargoyles actually turn out to trust. At first, Goliath wasn't trusting it. He had no trust in her because of all the betrayal from the humans. But as she goes, she proves her valiant. She proves that she's valiant. She proves that she's honorable. She's honest. Without her, Goliath would have been mincemeat, because when they were in the park in season 1, the first 5 episodes, The Awakening, which was a 5-part series, Elisa spent most of that episodes protecting Goliath in the park. So she had to not only fight David Xanatos' cronies, but she was actually protecting Goliath too as well. And so through that 5-part episodes, they become a trust starts to begin to build, right? And so now she's the detective. She's always watching out for them, from getting them televisions to getting them food to watching out for them, make sure nobody's harming them in the clock tower, or even when they were in Casa Erie before they had to move, because they had to move from Casa Erie once Goliath and the clan realized that David Xanatos is the one who betrayed them. Elisa told them, look, y'all ain't safe here no more. Y'all got to move somewhere. So and guess where she finds them? A home to stay, which happens to be the clock tower on top of the police building, of all places, which was insane. So as the episodes go, you would always see her bringing a television, bringing something into that spot for them to do, man. You know what I mean? So Elisa Maza, man, lady off the chain, detective. She had fight skills. Of course, she's a detective, and she had this cool ass car. It looked like, I don't know what to call it, like a 71 Continental or something like that, man. But it was a sick old car, man. And so you see her and Goliath start to develop love interest. And then in season 3 is really where we get to see them become romantically involved. Because you start to see they go on a date on the first episode of season 3, Goliath Chronicles. It was insane, man. But you know, that's Elisa Maza. Next.
Sorry, pal, but this investigation isn't over yet. Don't tell me this is where Dracula shows up. Good laugh would be worth a lot of money right about now.
Next up, you got Brooklyn. Brooklyn is the second in command behind that's Brooklyn right there. He's the second in command behind Goliath. So Brooklyn is like this character that's he's sort of shy. He's only extroverted when he has to be in charge of the team. But most of the time he kind of keeps to himself. And I think he underestimates himself a lot too as well too. He should have more confidence than he does, but he doesn't have as much confidence. But as the show goes, he starts to develop confidence because he has to form into a position of leadership, right? Because he's behind Goliath. So during the season 2, during the Age of Avalon, as Goliath, Eliza, Angela, Bronx are lost in Avalon during the travels, he becomes in charge of the Gargoyles. So now he has to lead Hudson, Broadway, and Lexington, and he has to lead the Gargoyles while in Goliath's absence, and he does a great job. There were episodes when they fought the Wolf Pack. There were episodes where they had to fight, go back to the sanctuary with Elisa's brother, who gets turned into like a cat gargoyle. And it was just weird, man. But Brooklyn starts to find his way as leader. And then as he goes, he starts to be able to realize that, you know what, I can do this. And so he does it. And then, of course, he has this big old grudge against Demona because Demona tricked him into thinking that the humans were the cause of the problems, whereas she was the cause of the problem. So throughout the whole episodes of the Gargoyle series, he has a begrudging hate towards Demona. So much shows that in season 3, I think it was Hunter's Moon, he literally was gonna he tried to end her, man. And Goliath's like, no, we don't roll like that. Maybe that's how Demona rolls, but that's not how we roll. You know what I mean? So that's Brooklyn right there.
Why bother with a helmet? Your head's hard enough.
Hey, it's all part of the look. There, it's ready. All right.
there. Next up is Hudson. He's the old man on the team. He's the former leader of the Gargoyles. Hudson. He's got a big old knife. He got a big old scar on his eye. Now that scar on his eye that he has, he got it because when he was fighting the Megas, I think like rock, the light or something from the rocks scarred his eye. So then he had that scar on the rest of the eye. He's damn near almost blind on there. And as Hudson is he's the elder statesman of the team. He has the wisdom. He still gets into battles, but sometimes he finds himself like, hey, I'm so old, like they're gonna discard me. But I remember there was this episode where in season 1, when Goliath gets hurt, so now Hudson has to take on Demona. And you know Demona ain't no joke, man. Are you kidding me? Demona ain't no joke. Demona is a beast. You know what I'm saying? So Demona, and he has to fight Demona while Goliath's hurt, while he's recovering. You know, and you can only recover really until they go to sleep at night when they turn into stone. So he has to fight off Demona during this whole time, and it proves to be valiant, right? And then, but like I say again, back in Scotland in 1799 or 1899, he was in charge, and then he realized that he was getting older, so he said, you know, Goliath, it's time for me to step down and for you to become the leader of the clan. And so he becomes leader of the clan. And there was even episodes right before before Goliath, Eliza, and Bronx go into the Avalon. He's telling Goliath like, well, Hudson's telling Goliath that you need to choose a leader, and then Goliath tries to make him the leader, and Hudson's like, no. I passed the mantle to you. You need to choose between Brooklyn, Hudson, and you need to choose between Brooklyn, Broadway, and Lexington. You've got 3 fine soldiers right there. So Goliath ends up choosing Brooklyn. But Hudson has always been the wise guy. And even on the episode called The Light That Sees the House, he gets to meet a writer, and the writer accuses Hudson of being a bigot because he says, don't assume that I'm not gonna treat you equally because you're a gargoyle. I don't play that mess. And you know what I'm saying? This show was just off the chain. Hudson is one of these characters that the wisdom, but he's an ancient warrior. He's always ready to go. He's no questions asked. Let's get this done. Period. You know what I mean? Hudson is the wisdom guy on the team. Like, he's just ancient wisdom, but we still got that fight in him, man. So that's Hudson.
Behave yourself, boy. I underestimated you. Very resourceful, using your own skin as a weapon. I suppose you'll destroy the cauldron now.
And why would I be doing that? What you choose to do with your life is your own affair, as long as it's got nothing to do with me.
You're just full of surprises.
A friendly word of advice. True immortality isn't about living forever, man. It's about what you do with the time you have. When all your scheming's done, what will be your legacy as
Hudson. Next up, you've got Broadway. Broadway's the big guy on the team. He loves to get his eat on, man. Broadway loves to eat, man. There isn't anything Broadway doesn't mind to eat. And of course, he's the guy on the team who's the goofball. He's always making fun of something, never takes anything seriously. That's Broadway right there. Even as the show goes, you get to see him play a detective one time with Eliza. He tries to back her up, but he damn near almost kills Eliza because he fires off Eliza's police issued weapon. Man, he almost killed her. And then he spends the whole episode with Goliath trying to find Dracon, because Goliath thought Dracon was the one who did it, but it was actually Brooklyn. It was actually Broadway, excuse me. And then also too, as the show goes, Broadway and Angela, Goliath's daughter, become romantically involved. And it was like a competition between Brooklyn and Broadway, but Broadway won because Angela found him more interesting, I guess. You know, the episodes never really went into detail of how she chose, but she chose him over him. So, and then in season 3, you get to see them really become romantically involved. But Broadway's the funny guy on the team, never takes anything serious, and man, does he love to eat. They would eat Chinese food every single episode. I remember on every episode, they was always eating Chinese food or pizza. It was always one or the other. It was off the chain. Broadway, he was blue. They all had different colors too. So Goliath was purple, Brooklyn was red, Broadway was blue, Hudson was brown. But that's Broadway, man, the funny guy. And then of course, even in season 3, Xanatos' wife, Fox, decides that Broadway should go become famous and become on a TV show. Man, that turned out to be a trend. And after the whole thing, Broadway comes back home and tells Angela, man, I'm not trying to be famous, man. I just want to be home right here with y'all, man. You know what I mean? So that was awesome right there.
one mistake, Dracon. You messed with my partner.
Not you guys again.
When someone messes with your partner, you're supposed to do something about it. Oh, case closed.
Right there. Now, next up is Lexington. Lexington is the green gargoyle right there. Lexington right there. You know what I'm saying? Lexington is green. Lexington is a smart guy on the team. He's a tech guy. He's the smallest of the group too. So where it feels in some kind of way inadequate, like tiny, like he's not good enough, like he's always having to fight, like he has to prove himself. And I remember on specific 2 episodes. One was one he got lost in season 3 where Bronx got lost. It's called A Bronx Tale in season, I think it's episode 5, season 3, where Bronx get lost because him and Lexington were out and about playing, and then somehow Bronx ends up on a train, takes him to the middle of the country town, and now Lexington has to go back home to look for him. And then another episode was when he met the Wolf Pack before Fox became a good person, and she tricked him into tricking Goliath to come and fight them. But the whole time, Broadway didn't even know that Fox was actually working for David Xanatos. So now he's bitter towards Fox. So he spends most of the episodes in season, during the seasons of season 1 and season 2, and going into season 3, letting Fox know how much he couldn't stand her. And it wasn't until season 3 to when David Xanatos' kids, Alexander, David Xanatos and Fox's child gets kidnapped, that Fox lets it go. And this grudge that he has against Fox goes away because he has to be the babysitter to get back David Xanatos and Fox's child. But Lexington, there's nothing he can't design, there's nothing he can't create, there's no mechanical object that he can't fix. Like he fixed motorcycles, he rebuilt helicopters, he came up with technology for them to have like at the base. Even reprogrammed Cold Stone, Goliath's brother. It was off the chain, man. Lexington is a very cool character, but one thing I think Lexington, as the show went, he stopped looking at himself like, oh, I'm just a small gargoyle. No, I'm a full gargoyle. I'm just small, and I can do many things. My strength is not the only thing. He was very intelligent, very cool gargoyle.
After I'm through with them. Look, Lex, I know how you feel. You trusted them and they used you. Nearly got you and Goliath killed. I feel the same way every time somebody mentions Demona. But you can't let it consume you. You need to remember what's really important. Family, protecting our home.
You have your priorities, and I have mine.
I gotta tell you, Lex, you're starting to worry me.
Look,
Guess it's a no-show.
Next up, you got Bronx. Yeah, he's kind of like the tiger of the team. He's kind of like the White Blaze or He-Man's Battle Cat. You know what I'm saying? Bronx was a big old, and he's blue. That's right. Bronx is blue. You know what I mean? He's kind of like a big old size lion type of thing, like a gargoyle but on 2 feet. Bronx couldn't talk. He loved to eat. He was always on the side of Hudson, so he kind of had his own character. And I remember there was one episode called Bronx Tale in season 3 where Bronx gets lost on that train, like I told you about with Lexington, and next thing you know, he ends up in a country ass town, and then now the country thinks he's a monster, and then they're all making stories. And then there's another episode again, The Hound of Ulster, episode 32 on season 2, where in Scotland, Bronx finds this guy who's like an ancient hero in Scotland, and then he becomes his partner, and then they fight this death worm. It was just off the chain. Like Bronx doesn't talk, but Bronx is ready for action. He can climb walls. He can he's heavy. He can pretty much pick up anybody on the team, on the Gargoyles right there. I think the only person stronger than Bronx is Goliath. That's it. And Bronx is heavy. I mean, I wouldn't be shocked if he weighed 700 pounds. And man, did he love to eat. You know what I'm saying? But Bronx, and then he always protected Eliza. Bronx was always protecting Eliza. Every time it would be Bronx, especially during the Avalon travels. Goliath always told Bronx to protect Eliza. He was always there. You know what I'm saying? You got to see the characters, man. These characters are amazing. Now,
Okay, pal. Let me see. Nice and easy.
next up, Angela. Angela is right there. Goliath's daughter. So they find her when they get to Avalon, right? Because when they get to Avalon, Avalon takes them to this journey of craziness. They go all over the place. Africa, Nigeria specifically. They go to Mexico. They go to all kinds of different places, man. Meeting all kinds of different characters. They even go to certain parts of the reservation for the Native American families. It was Native American groups. I'm not sure which particular group it was, but that was another cool episode. They went to a future. They went to the future. I mean, it was like Angela. Then they met Angela in Avalon, and when Angela was there, she's like, because in the gargoyle infrastructure or in the culture, no one daughter gets claimed by one particular person. You're everybody's daughter. You're everybody's son. You're everybody's brother. But she always wanted Goliath to acknowledge her that, yeah, you're my dad. So in episode 26, this episode about when she gets captured by Anton Zavarius, she insists on Goliath making her recognize that you're my dad. And then also too, and then another episode when they were in France, it was on that episode that it was on episode 34, the Mark of the Panther, that the Goliath finally acknowledges that, yes, she is your daughter, because he has to claim her as his daughter, because the clan the culture of where you say, oh, everybody's your dad. No, she's not going for that. She wanted to say, you are my daughter, I'm your daughter, and you're my dad, and she wants that special treatment. And that's what Angela. But she's fierce, man. She can fight. She can kick butt. She's the only female gargoyle on the whole team. You know, it would be nice to see if there had been an opportunity for the seasons to go through from past season 3. But she came in on season 2, the middle of season 2, around episode 26 or 20. No, I think it was episode 25 or 24 is when she came in. You start to see her when they arrived at Avalon, because they had to defeat the Magus when it became like a super Magus, and then they had to wake up the King of England, and you got to see her in action. You got to see her Oberon. You even got to see her when they were fighting Oberon. Man, she off the chain. So Angela, that's Goliath's daughter. She's a very strong character. I mean, it was one episode called Turf, episode season 2. The boys were fighting over her because they had never seen a female gargoyle before. She got tired of them trying to like, what's the word? Monopolize her. She said, you know what? I'll choose the guy I want to be with when I'm ready to choose. Because she had to go get advice from Eliza, because she got tired of the gargoyle boys, which was Brooklyn, Lexington, and Broadway, like drooling over her. And she's like, man, y'all better stop doing that. She gets Lisa's advice, and Lisa tells her, look, let them know how you want to be treated. And guess what she did? She let them know how she want to be treated, man. So that's Angela, man.
The sun will heal you. Angela. Angela!
Give me room. One, two, three, four. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3.
Oh, she did it!
Man, next up is Demona. Man, Demona is just, whoo, she's evil beyond evil. I'm talking, she betrays her own clan, right? Back in the days in ancient Scotland. But instead of taking blame for what she actually did, she blames somebody else. And then she goes to look for powers to get younger. So she and oh my God, Macbeth trade places. So Macbeth gives her his youth, and she gives her her oldness, if that's a word. And then she gets a youth, right? And instead of using the youth to do the right thing, she's still back in the same circle of hatred that she's in. And then when she makes it to the modern times, she still does the same thing, except now she's got rocket launchers. She's got people working for her. She even becomes human at one point. At one point in season 2, when Puck turns her into a human during the day. So during the day, he curses her with a spell. She wanted to be turned human completely. But then he's like, nah, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to make you be a gargoyle at night, and you're going to be a human during the day. And during the day, she establishes her own business, which is insane. So nobody knows that she's a human being the whole time. She even marries Macbeth, and Macbeth doesn't even know she's a human. And then she falls in love with what's the name, Phalog, and Phalog and her are trying to steal Macbeth's money, basically inherit the money. So the whole time, Demona's fighting gargoyles all through all 3 seasons. There's not one episode where she was going against them. She wasn't trying to eliminate them. She even had one episode where she turned the entire city of New York into stone. Like all the human beings got turned into stone. And then she just went around taking an axe like this mace thing and smashing human beings left and right. I mean, she really had some technical difficulties, is the best way for me to put it. She had a lot of hate in her heart, so she could never accept the fact that she was great. She never took responsibility for the things that she did. She was always blaming somebody else. You know what I mean? And then to top it off, she joins forces with Xanatos in the future and still betrays the Gargoyles some more. So she basically tried to use Goliath's love for her against him. And then when he realized in episode 5 of season 1, the last episode of The Awakening, part 5, like, you were the reason why we betrayed? Man, excuse me, it was part 4 of season 1. You're the reason why we got the Gargoyles got destroyed. So I guess he technically stopped being in love with her. And she took that even more personal. She realized, oh, you're not going to be with me? If you're not with me, then you're against me. So she shot a rocket launcher at him and destroyed part of Erie Castle. And while she's falling, Elisa Maza's falling too, and so now Goliath has to dive to go save Elisa Maza. And the whole time we all thought Demona was done, but she wasn't. She was always hunting the Gargoyles. She saw them as the enemy instead of her friend. It wasn't until episode 8, Generations is what it's called, season 3, episode 8. Yeah, I know the name of the episodes. I told you, I get my Gargoyle watching on. Season 3, episode 8, Generations, where she even betrays Angela. She uses Angela to try to betray the Gargoyles again. And Angela's like, you know what? I know you're my mother, but man, you are evil. That was when I think that was the breaking point that changed her, man. But that was the last episode she was actually on, because I remember we didn't see her for the rest of the episodes in season 3. But Demona, man, she was straight evil, man.
Goliath, you're a fool. But then you always were, weren't you? If you'd only taken the rest of our clan away from the castle that night. The plan was perfect. It would have succeeded.
What plan?
I made a bargain with the captain. I was to get us all out of the castle so that the Vikings could sack it.
What?
It would have worked. And after the humans were gone, we would have had the castle all to ourselves. But you ruined it. You had to protect the humans. You made us stay at the castle when we should have been with you. When the Vikings attacked, the captain said he'd protect us. But I didn't trust him. I've stayed alive because I don't trust anyone.
But why did you do it?
You can ask me that. After how they treated us, they had to pay. All humanity has to pay for what they did to our kind.
There is good and evil in all of us, human and gargoyle alike. You should know that more than anyone. Don't you see? None of this would have happened if it weren't for you.
Don't say that! Goliath, this is your last chance. Humanity is a poison that must be purged from this planet. Together, you and I can create a new world for our kind. You trusted me once. You loved me once. We have found each other again after 1,000 years of solitude. Does that mean nothing to you? Very well, then. If you are not my ally, then you are my enemy. I have a name too, Goliath. The humans gave it to me long ago. You should know it before you die. I am.
Next up, David Xanatos, another character in the thing. David Xanatos was this rich billionaire guy who just got off on using people to get what he wanted. And the one thing what happened to him was, yes, he was responsible for bringing the Gargoyles back to life, freeing them of the curse. But he didn't really free them of the curse because he wanted to help them. He did it so he could use them. And he tried to use them to attack Cyberbiotics, which was Fox's father's company, cybernetic companies. He basically wanted to crash the company so that the company could go bankrupt and he could be the #1 lone tech producer dude in the world, I guess, if you want to put it. Because he was basically seen as the richest person in the world. So David Santos was the evil guy. He came up with technology. He even came up with armor to look like Goliath so he could fight the Gargoyles. Then he created these robots called these gargoyle robots that look like Goliath, and they were fighting the Gargoyles in season 1, episode 5, I believe. Well, they showed up first in season 1, episode 4, and they fought the Gargoyles. I mean, it even got to the point where one of them scratched Goliath, and they created a clone, and that's how the clones of the Gargoyles came around, which was Phalog, oh my God, all these different clones of the Gargoyles, but Phalog is the one I remember, right? Because that's another character I'm gonna talk about. And then David Xanatos was over here just messing up the show all day, every day. He was just being a thorn. It wasn't until when he went to jail, after the Gargoyles defeated him, he went to jail, came back out of jail, and was still giving the Gargoyles all kinds of problems. And then when his son got kidnapped in the episode, I think episode 45 and 46, The Gathering, where Oberon came to capture Alexander because Alexander has the blood of magic in him. And so technically, being that he's a child of Avalon, Oberon came to capture him from Xanatos and his family, and then Xanatos had to get the help of the Gargoyles to defeat Oberon. And that's when he stopped being a villain. And Goliath was like, should I trust you? I guess I don't really have a choice. I guess I have to take you at your word. And sure enough, from that day on, Xanatos actually became a good guy, because in season 3, the Gargoyles have to go live with him back in the Castle Eerie again, because the clock tower in season 2 gets blown up on the last 3 episodes of season 2, The Hunter's Moon, 1, 2, and part 3. Man, it went down at the clock tower by the police station. They couldn't live there no more, so they had to move back into Eerie Castle with Goliath, with Xanatos, and then Xanatos had to kind of like play their protector and keep them away from the humans. It was wild, man, but then Xanatos was evil.
To learn the Gargoyles' hiding place has gone awry, sir. Not really. I have the Eye of Odin back in my private collection, and the city owes me a favor for donating it. I successfully tested this prototype battle exoframe, and the most important thing... Yes, sir? I was a little worried that I might be getting soft, but I was able to stand up against Goliath, the greatest warrior alive. I'd say I've still got the edge.
Evil. Next up is Phalog, because I feel like Phalog and Macbeth are important, because those are the 2 last sets I'm talking about. Phalog was Goliath's clone, literally kind of like his son. I mean, Phalog was created by Anton Zavarius and Xanatos to basically defeat Goliath. But then Phalog developed his own mind. So Phalog is the combination of Goliath's abilities, powers, and way he looks, and the combination of Xanatos' mind and brain. So not only does he have Xanatos' intelligence and ingenuity, but he has Goliath's strength, power. I mean, all that, man. It's put into one person. Oh, man, that's crazy. And then Phalog the whole time, from episode... I believe it was episode 15 or 16 on season 2. Throughout the whole episodes, whether it's episode 28 or various other episodes, he was all up in the Gargoyles stuff, man. Just giving them that work, always being a thorn in Goliath's stuff. Goliath tried as best he could to get Phalog to change. Phalog's like, no, I'm not having that. It wasn't until the episode, I think it was episode 9 or 10, where the clones, which was Phalog and the other Gargoyles that were cloned, became started to disintegrate. That Phalog had some kind of peace of mind and finally decided that he didn't no longer want... He actually told Goliath, I enjoyed causing you misery, which was the last thing he got to say to Goliath. I mean, that was a trip, man. You know what I mean? But yo, that was Gargoyles right there. You mean, that was Goliath, Phalog. Phalog was one evil thing, even to the point where Demona falls in love with Phalog. But Phalog never really loved her. He was using her the whole time to get at the Gargoyles, to get at Xanatos' pocket, to steal what Xanatos had. He even tried to steal Macbeth's money, which was really a trip. Macbeth, boy, he just got screwed over no matter which way you looked. But Phalog was one evil. He was basically the evil version of Goliath. Imagine Goliath being evil. That was Phalog right there, man. You know what I'm saying?
I am Phalog.
Whoa.
What kind of abomination are you? The same kind as you. It was your blood that spawned me. My blood!
Oh my gosh. He's a clone. They grew him from a piece of you, like a cutting from a plant.
A piece of me? This thing is me! First Xanatos steals my home, and now he pieces off my soul!
You've got every right to be angry, but no right to take it out on Phalog. What difference does it make how he came into being? Now he's as much a gargoyle as you are. In a way, he's almost your son. How can you reject him?
You're right, of course. If there's anyone to blame here, it's Xanatos, not Phalog. I'm going to set him free. That will be necessary. The shackles weren't locked.
What are you doing? Stop!
And just for the record, I'm more of a gargoyle than he'll ever be.
Next up, the next character is Macbeth. Macbeth is an awesome character because Macbeth was this honorable guy who lost everything. His wife, his son, his castle, his people. I mean, he made a deal with the Red Sisters, which was these three sisters that gave him Damona's age, and then gave Damona Macbeth's gave Macbeth Damona's age, and Macbeth's youth got given to Damona. And the whole time they were trying to form an alliance, but Damona thought Macbeth betrayed him, and he was thinking about doing it because his advisor was telling Macbeth that, hey, you need to betray Damona so that the humans don't think you're working with a demon, or you're some kind of evil overlord or something. And so he almost betrays her, but he doesn't. And then she doesn't show up on this war thing, and right there is when they both die. And so now, since they both can't die, they can't kill each other. The only person that can kill them is each other. And so they spent the whole many episodes fighting each other. I mean, Macbeth, I remember him coming around in season 1, episode 7 or 8, and he gave the Gargoyles the work, man. Because he thought the Gargoyles were part of Damona's clan. And Goliath was like, she's not part of our clan. And when he finally realized that, it's kind of like, it came to kind of like an understanding. But even still, even whether it was the Gathering, or, no, excuse me, not the Gathering, but backfighting, him and the Damona got their minds controlled by the Magus, the evil Magus, when he reaches supreme level, control so he could fight the Gargoyles. And then also too, when he fought King Arthur, when he came to say who could claim the sword of Excalibur. And then also too, in the episode called Sanctuary, where he thought he was married to Damona, who was known at that time as Destine Dews or something like that. He thought he was marrying a human being. He didn't know that was actually Damona. And then of course, it wasn't until season 3 where he stops, after that episode in Sanctuary, he stops being in the show as much. And then he starts to, in season 3, he shows up and he becomes the advocate for the Gargoyles. Always ended up with this new TV show talking about how the Gargoyles are good human beings, they're honorable, maybe we should treat them better, and maybe they wouldn't be running from us. So Macbeth is a awesome, honorable character who was trying to find his path and way through the whole Gargoyle universe. But at the end, he gets settled down and finds that peace he's been looking for, because he lost everything, his wife, his children. He's an immortal, basically, who doesn't want to be an immortal. He got cursed with immortality after the Weird Sisters joined him in Damona's abilities or souls or their entities. I don't even know what word to use, but their souls are intertwined with each other. And they can only die if one kills the other. So it was a trip, man. He was sort of a sad character. And I can totally imagine somebody, if they ever try to do a movie, who would play this. Maybe a good Macbeth would be a Liam Neeson. I think he would do a great job. But, you know, that's the characters in Gargoyles.
I wear this as a reminder of your treachery.
Let's not start that again. You blame me, I blame you. Aren't you tired of talking about it?
I'm not here to talk.
Then what? You know the rules. Killing me will gain you nothing but your own death.
After this long a lifetime, I have no fear of that, and no desire to live in the kind of world you're creating. Revenge is a dish best eaten cold, Damona. I have waited 900 years for this.
Man. And there were many other characters too. Coldstone, the Magus, Princess Catherine. Man, I'm over here like trying to look for all the characters that I'm trying to remember. Antoine Savarius, Talon, who's Elisa's sister brother got turned into like a gargoyle type thing. Peter Maza, Diane Maza. Peter Maza is Elisa's father. Diane Maza is Elisa's mother. You got Fox Xanatos, which is Xanatos' wife. Antoine Savarius. You got Maggie the cat. She's like this human lady who got turned into a thing. You got Beth Maza. You got Alexander Fox Xanatos, who is Fox's and Xanatos' son. I mean, dude, there were so many amazing characters in this show, man. You know what I mean? This show was off the chain. Like, the characters, the only thing that had more characters than Gargoyles was kind of like watching Thundercats or X-Men, man. You know what I'm saying? So that's where I was at. Next up is Gargoyles. There is Gargoyles comic books. And I think I've seen some comic books, which was wild. I'm gonna see it. Yeah, there were actually comics. Can y'all believe that? Gargoyles actually had comic books, which was a trip. I mean, you know what's funny? I've never actually read the comic books, which is a trip. Gargoyles actually had comic books. I mean, they were awesome. It went from about, how many issues were here? So one episode was called Gargoyles Dark Ages, because it was something that Greg Weisman had come up with. Greg Weisman and Moss came up with the comic books. It was produced by Dynamite Entertainment. Let me see here. Let me go back over here. I mean, there were countless episodes. So it was called Gargoyles Ages 1. It was like a 4-issue type of deal. You had issue 1, issue 2. I mean, you had Demona on there. You had, man, it was so sick, dude. It was produced by Dynamite Entertainment. I mean, you had Gargoyles, Tyler. You had, let me see here. I mean, can you believe a cartoon like this had comic books? Gargoyles #1, exclusive 700 limited spring run. So there was a specific episode of Gargoyles that had Gargoyles #1, Tyler. It was created by Tyler Kirkham, Virgin, exclusive 700 limited edition. It was only 700 comics run. It's about $20 if you wanted to buy it, and it was a special issue. It was just, man, Gargoyles was just, to believe that something like this had comics was unbelievable. And this one had everybody: Goliath, Angela, Brooklyn, Hudson, Broadway, Lexington. I mean, dude, it was a sick old thing. Let me see here. I'm trying to see what I want to see right here. Man, it was off the chain, man. Man, comics, to believe that Gargoyles, I'm not really shocked that Gargoyles had a comic series because it's such a great cartoon. Most of these ideas that we watch, whether it was X-Men, Thundercats, a lot of them have comics, man. You even had episodes where okay, so basically in the Brand New Ministries, Gargoyles creator Greg Weisman and artist Drew Moss returned to the long-lost era when humans and gargoyles lived in harmony. But in the world ruled by superstition and sword, monsters come in all shapes and sizes. Forces of evil from both outside and within are threatening to destroy the precious peace, with consequences that will reverberate down through the centuries and into the present day. Featuring high-quality cardstock on every cover, this limited series debuts with a 24-page main story, and every 40-page issue will include a new illustrated text story by Craig Wiseman. So even Craig Wiseman, even though he created the cartoon, they still did the comic thing. Same thing I'm doing with the Cards of Assassin Universe. Who has something that great and doesn't create comics for it? You got to do the comic thing, man. Comics is a part of our culture. It's always going to be. Anything with a book is always going to be part of our culture. I, for one, love anything Gargoyles. So if it's comics, if it's a movie, I wouldn't mind there being a movie. I ain't gonna lie to y'all, man. If they could pull off a movie, hey, I'm all for it, man. You know what I'm saying? I know it'd be hard to see movies, but if they could pull it off, I'm all for it. I'm down for the movies, man. If they can do it, you know what I'm saying? I'm down for it. But the comics, man, I'm not shocked that they had this, and I'm not shocked also too it was successful. Like I said, it was two issues. It was number 2 and number 3. It was number 1 and number 2. Let me get that correct. Yep. It was number 1 and number 2. Yep. And it was different covers too. I mean, Gargoyles, to actually have, so you had Gargoyles book number 1, book number 2, book number 3, book number 4, book number 5, book number 6. I mean, there were multiple books, book number 7. All the way to, there are 7 books in the whole comic series. And I'm going to show y'all every single last one of them. Because they were off the chain, man. I mean, Gargoyles is just, oh my God. Now. Now, next up, last but not least, the animation series. The reason why I fell in love with the whole thing in the first place. Oh my God. 1994 through 1997. 3 seasons of total awesomeness. Season 1, 13 episodes. Season 2, 52 episodes. Season 3, 13 episodes. Yes, and even the last episode of season 3 was called Angels in the Night. Yeah, that's right. I told you I'd be watching Gargoyles for real. You know what I'm saying? Yo, dude, like Gargoyles was like, as far as I'm concerned, one of the greatest cartoons ever created. Top 5 of all time. Y'all, if you've never watched it, please go watch it. If you have Disney Plus, you can watch it for free. Now, YouTube, on the other hand, I don't know about all that because I've tried watching the episodes on YouTube and they don't work. All you get is these very low-grade visuals of these episodes, and it just ruins it for me. So I stopped doing it. I say, you know what? Disney Plus it is. Pay some money. Look, whatever I enjoy the most, I'm going to watch, especially when it comes to animation, I don't play. Like Thundercats, I can watch it on Hulu. X-Men, I can watch it on Disney Plus. A lot of the cartoons that I grew up on, I can watch it on Disney Plus. You know, Gargoyles is it's an amazing cartoon series. It's very rare that a cartoon has that many episodes, and it's that great. Like the creators, Greg Weisman, of course, and Frank Poor, did such a fantastic job. And of course, they collaborated with Disney, of course. Having Disney's backing helps a lot because you have the money, you have the resources, you have all the different technologies you might need. You have the animation team, you have the drawing team, you have the writing team. When you're lucky like that, unfortunately, me, I'm a one-man wrecking crew, but that's the same concept idea I'm going to take towards the Cards of Assassin universe. I plan on having my own team so that I don't have to stress about, oh, do I have this, do I have that? No, I can just do whatever I want and create it. This cartoon, y'all, man, season 1 was off the chain. Like Awakening, if you watch the first 5 episodes of Gargoyles, you'll be like, oh my god, it's called The Awakening. Part 1, Part 2, Part 3, Part 4, and Part 5. And then after that, it just gets even more better. Even to the last episode of season 1, which was a long day, I believe. And they actually, and during the whole season, like the whole time they're fighting Xanatos after episode 5, all the way up till Xanatos gets locked up in jail. And even then, Xanatos comes back out of jail, and he's fighting Gargoyles till the last episode. It's wild, man. And then season 2, which is where it goes from the Wolfpack fighting them to Angela, Goliath, Eliza, and Bronx getting lost in Avalon, and then getting joined by Angela, Goliath's daughter. They go through these travels. I call them the travels of Avalon, where they just travel. Avalon's just send them all over the place on this skiff. Literally, they're on a skiff, a wooden boat going around all over the place, and Avalon's just sending wherever it wants. Whether it's England, whether it's ancient England, whether it's 1940 World War II England, whether it's Africa, Nigeria, whether it's France, or whether it's China, or it was just they were just all over the place, man. But it was totally awesome. Season 2, 52 episodes. 52 episodes in one animation series, that's damn near 5 episodes nowadays, because nowadays episodes are lucky if you get 10. They have 52 episodes in one season. 52. The only cartoon I can think of that had more episodes in one season was Thundercats, and maybe Turtles, and maybe Darkwing Duck. But 52 episodes? Man, they were putting in work, man. You know what I'm saying? 52 episodes. And of course, season 3, the last episode, it was awesome. Because they were not, in this season, they were going against these quarrymen. They were kind of like the cartoon version of the Ku Klux Klan. Just had so much hatred for everybody that wasn't a human being. And so the Gargoyles fought them all the way through from the season episode 1 all the way to episode 13, Angels in the Night. You know what I'm saying? The Quarrymen, they were just evil, unscrupulous individuals, man. And the Gargoyles spent the whole time fighting. And also too, season 3 was different from season 1 and season 2 because it was kind of like told through Goliath's voice. The Goliath Chronicles, as it's called, season 3 is called the Goliath Chronicles. It was amazing, y'all. Let me tell you, you ain't seen cartoons to this. You've seen cartoons, so let me show y'all Gargoyles real quick.
1,000 years ago, superstition and the sword ruled. It was a time of darkness. It was a world of fear. It was the age of gargoyles. Stone by day, warriors by night. We were betrayed by the humans we had sworn to protect, frozen in stone by a magic spell for 1,000 years. Now here in Manhattan, the spell is broken, and we live again. We are defenders of the night. We are gargoyles.
Yep. See how Gargoyles, you can see the episodes. That means it's about to be awesome. One of the sickest intros we've ever seen, man. Yep. So now y'all seen the intro. You see what I'm talking about? Gargoyles, the animated series. Sick as hell. You ain't seen nothing till you actually watch it. So please go on Disney Plus and get your watch on. This cartoon is so sick. I promise you. By the time you get through watching, you'll be like, okay, this dude got a point. This thing is top 5. Because, I mean, think about it. Rank all the cartoons you can think about. There's not really too many cartoons you're going to put over Gargoyles. Not Thundercats. Thundercats is there. X-Men is there. Ronin Warriors is there. I'm trying to think. Maybe Avengers Assemble, Avengers animated series. I mean, a lot of the cartoons. Voltron, of course, it's got to be there. It's Defender of the Earth. Gargoyles is top 5. And of course, Turtles, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles from the 1980s. Yeah, that one. Not the remakes that was made after the 1980s. I'm talking about Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles from the 1980s that went all the way to 1997. 10 seasons of awesomeness. Gargoyles is in that realm. Gargoyles is a sick old cartoon. So y'all, the animated series was up.
It's a quiet night.
Yes, again. You're not gonna believe who crawled out of hiding.
The pack! Oh, I've been waiting for another shot at them.
Don't lose the element of surprise. They are formidable opponents. Move, move, move.
This'll keep us on top of the most wanted list.
Should have remembered your ATM card, hyena.
Didn't you ever learn not to bother people at work?
Just save the big one for me.
So that concludes our show for today. I want to thank y'all for listening. Before we get out of here, we also want to show you the new stuff we got going. So, first off, I got to show y'all the podcast t-shirt. If you want to get a copy of our podcast t-shirt, that's why I didn't wear it today. I want to be able to show it to y'all. I'm usually wearing it, but I want y'all to see it. I don't want my computer going to sleep. Look at our podcast t-shirt. Sick as t-shirt. We got different colors, man. Look at it. And this design is available in different things. Whether it's hoodies, whether it's tank tops, whether it's bomber jackets, t-shirts, sweaters like I got on right now, beanies. It's going to be all kinds of cool stuff on SanusiVision.com with the SanusiVision Podcast logo on it. So get ready to go get it out. I'm getting the designs up right now. They're going to be up there pretty soon. Get ready on the website, man. And of course, since we're back into traveling, people love traveling. People love traveling. So, you want to get our awesome suitcase right here. And guess what we got now? We got it in 3 different sizes. We got the small right here. We got the medium. We got the large. Yeah, that's right. You can walk around with a cool little SanusiVision suitcase with one of my awesome art on it. And you can get any character you want. We got Carjack for Assassins. We got Blade, Iron Man, Wonder Woman, Turtles, Voltron, Black Panther, Mega Man. You name it, we got it. So now let's open this thing up, right? Check it out. It's got its own combination code too, so you can check it out. And guess what? It's got awesome slots. So in all 3 sizes, your suitcase is going to look this awesome. I opened it up, y'all, so I can get it ready for y'all. Check that out, man. You got spots. Then you got the case spot right there. Then you got another pocket right here. You can put whatever you want in there. Check that out, man. Zippers galore, man. Check that out. See that? This is the side we can put whatever you want. Then on this side, you got 2 miniature pockets. You know what I mean? So this is what we're doing in SanusiVision, man. All kinds of cool stuff. Suitcases. I know you're like, Dad, this dude does everything. How many things is this guy gonna do? Everything. This is what we do in SanusiVision. You know what I'm saying? Then of course, glasses cases. If you love to protect what you own, glasses case. You got your glasses. You're like me. And it comes with its own custom cleaning cloth. That's right. We're in bull driving over here. You clean it. You put the glasses on. But guess what else? It's a custom design cleaning cloth. So, see? And guess what it does? It matches the case. So we're in bull driving. Look at that. Man, this is what we're doing in SanusiVision, man. Give you a 360 of these glasses cases right here. Look at that. I've had this thing for a long, long, long time. I mean, it's a very awesome case. Look at it. It's sturdy. I've dropped it God knows how many times. This thing is, man, you better be a tank to run this thing over, because this thing it's seen it all. You know what I mean? So this is what we're doing in SanusiVision, creating cool stuff, man. You know what I mean? So, y'all, and I don't want to forget this. One more thing right here. Check it out. Water bottles. Man, who doesn't want a water bottle? Whether you're working out, whether you just want to have your water at work, or just to carry it around you, you got to get your 1 gallon of water every day, man. And check it out. This one's a special customized one, because this one's mine. And yeah, I just got my water on. You know what I mean? Look at this. It's got the handle too. Real easy and durable. You're not beating this up. You know what I mean? So this is what we're doing in SanusiVision, man. So, all the cool stuff we got going, man. So, that's our show for today. But like I said, Gargoyles is amazing. One of the greatest cartoons we've ever seen. If you ain't watched Gargoyles, man, you got to go get your watch on. There is nothing like this cartoon, man. You know what I mean? So I want to thank you for listening. But before we get up out of here, we got to talk about our cool comic book, Carjack for Assassins comic book that is coming out soon. You know what I'm saying? What would our show be without me talking about the Carjack for Assassin universe? Yeah, that's right. You want to go get you this bio book right here, because this bio book is going to get you ready for the first official Carjack for Assassins comic book that's coming out soon, y'all. It's through the correction phases. I'm almost done. I even took it to a print shop to go see what it's going to look like. Man, when I say I'm excited, man. Ooh, I'm excited. You know, to have created a book. When I created this one, I thought I was that man. Now this comic book guy coming, that comic book got me really thinking I am the man for real. And there's something to be said about having belief in yourself and knowing that you can do something and going to go do it, which is what I did. I mean, I thought about the comic book. I had a prototype of the what it would look like, and it came out to turn out exactly what I thought it would be. It is sick beyond sick, man. And so this bio book right here gets you to know all the characters in the Carjack Assassin universe. And we've even got a new bio book coming out soon. That's going to be sicker than this one I'm looking at right here in my hand. You want to get this bio book because this is going to let you know what's going on in the Carjack Assassin universe. So when the first official Carjack Assassin comic book comes out, you're going to be like, oh my God. So, you know, of course, you got to look at all the characters in the Carjack Assassin universe. These are the Carjacks right here, your heroes: Cajun, Glocks, Rasputin, Escalade, Shepard, Sincere, Diesel, Sphinx, of course. Then, of course, the villains, those amazing villains that they do evil stuff, but they're still cool as I don't know what. The assassins, man, the villains, man. These guys right here, led by Lord Sun Tzu, Artillery, Excursion, Kanji, Revo, Snipes, Yukon, the Coyotes. You know what I'm saying? Yo, Carjack Assassins, man. Buy a book. Get this book so you can know what's going on in the Carjack Assassins universe. So when the first book comes out, you're going to be like, oh, I know what's going on, man. So y'all, thank y'all for listening. Today's show has been awesome. I want to thank you for your time. But before we get up out of here, I want to thank our sponsor. This Vision podcast is brought to you by Annadale for the ankle. Don't live for foot pain. Let Annadale for the ankle make your feet happy again. That's AnnadaleCenter.com for details, y'all. That's AnnadaleCenter.com for details, y'all. So, y'all, I want to thank you for listening. This podcast is produced, written, and directed by yours truly, Adewale Agboke Jr. Please check out our website at SoundVision.com for all the cool stuff we got. Glasses cases, beanies, sweaters, shoot, even posters. You know what I'm saying? Shoot, bio books, suitcases, you name it, we got it, man. This is what we're doing on Sound Vision. We're doing big things right around here, man. You know what I mean? So please, you can find all kinds of cool stuff. And there's so many things on there now. Footwear, apparel, accessories, from laptop cases to glasses cases to phone cases to water bottles to wallets. You know what I mean? We're just doing all birthday cards. That's what we're doing on Sound Vision, man. So, yo, please. And also, please subscribe to our podcast on our YouTube channel. Yes, I don't do Apple. I don't do Spotify. I don't do none of that no more. I shifted straight to YouTube, and it's worked out for me all for the best. So, I'm so grateful. So, subscribe to us on our YouTube channel. That way, you can get new episodes. You can get alerts as well. Make sure you turn on your alerts so that when new episodes come up, you're able to see them instantly. Because it's the future. YouTube is the future platform for most of these visual things. If you think you're lying, if you think I'm lying, go ahead and see how many people are on there. Stephen A. Smith is on there. Shannon Sharp is on there. Club Shay Shay is on there. The Stephen A. Smith Show is on there. NFL's on there. So if it's working for them, it got to work for me, and it's going to work for you. So, yo, check it out. Subscribe yourself to our Sound Vision podcast on our YouTube channel, so that way you can always catch all our new awesome episodes, y'all. And also, too, please, check out our social media platforms at YouTube, Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, and X. These days, if you ain't got a social media platform, you ain't doing nothing. Don't lie to yourself like, oh, I'm going to promote the old-fashioned way. Nah. Why should I wait for 500 people to find me when I can just post on my channel page and get like 75,000, 100,000, 500,000, a million people to look at my stuff instantly? And instantly go to my website too. Our social media is the way it goes. We are on our social media. You know, the big three, as I always say, are YouTube, Facebook, and TikTok. Instagram and X are okay, but I really feel like those three platforms, YouTube, Facebook, and TikTok, are the biggest ones. I just still managed to keep my X and my Instagram because I've had them for so long. But those other three platforms, oh, it don't get no better than them, man. And please, don't forget to review us, rate us, give us a 5-star, don't be a hater. And as always, y'all, continue to aspire and achieve. Have a great week. Stay safe, y'all. Peace.